Got a couple of Russians around here. I'm gonna have to call Patrick Swayze in. Wolverines! Finally, the APM67AC Arnold from Bonce at $200 a pair and 300 watts RMS. These are the darlings of camionetas all across South Texas, as my buddy puts it. Are they worth all the hype? Let's take a look at the data. So in order to limit the low-end distortion on this speaker, I set a high-pass crossover of 100 hertz. This speaker plays fairly well from, I'd say, about 230 up to maybe 2500 hertz. The frequency response on this one is very dome-like. It has a very slow roll-off towards the lower end, but it has a couple peaks here at about 1200 and 1500 hertz. So keep that in mind. I would definitely recommend putting a low-pass crossover on this because it does get very screamy and loud at the higher frequencies. This speaker requires 6 watts of power to get to 110 decibels. It is fairly sensitive, and distortion at 110 decibels is fairly well maintained at under 5%, except at the lower end. At 100 watts, distortion climbs up over 5% for the majority of the frequency range, touches 10% every once in a while. Other than that, it's pretty well under control. At 150 volts, distortion climbs up a little bit above 10% over the lower end, but stays under 10% throughout the rest of the frequency range. This speaker is rated for 300 watts RMS. Could it do 300 watts RMS? I'd say it would be okay, but you might want to bump the high-pass crossover up to about 150 to 200 hertz. And don't forget that low-pass crossover. Now, looking at absolute output for this speaker, I would say it puts out around 122, 123 decibels at 150 watts. So it is pretty loud. So, the Arnold from Bonce. It's loud. It's not too bad distortion-wise. I'd say it can take the 300 watts, but this is not a play-low speaker. This is a loud, clear, high-frequency, mid-range driver. So if you want loud and clear, stupid loud, maybe not so clear, this isn't a bad speaker. Boosh.